So as you do get your mat set up, we're going to start on our mat in a child's pose. So that'll look like on your knees, feet nice close together. You can take the knees wide on the mat, bring the hips back towards the heels, walk the hands overhead here, and start to maybe rest your forehead down on the mat. All right, really reach the arms forward, reaching through the fingertips. So allow the elbow to be lifted off the mat because your arms are straight. You're really reaching as far forward as you can. All right, as you inhale, feel the breath move the rib cage, all right, expanding the torso. So as you exhale, try to let those hips sink a little further back towards the heels. All right, feel that lengthening sensation through the spine. And let's take 3 big breaths here, kind of settling down into the mat, settling into our space today. Nice deep breath in through the nose. With an open mouth, exhale. We'll go 2 more times. Deep breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. We'll go 1 more. Inhale. All right, exhale, letting it all out. Good. And on your next exhale, let's walk both hands to the right edge of your mat. Place that left hand on top of the right. So you're kind of just reaching over to the right side through the left hand, through the left fingertips. Good, and then inhale, bring it back through center, and we'll go the other way. So to the left edge of the mat, placing the right hand on top. The hips stay pinned back close to the heels, reaching through the fingertips. Good, and then inhale, bring it back through center. We're going to come up into our tabletop from here. So coming on to all fours. All right, and we'll start to circle out through the body. So just taking some free movement here. Bring the hips and shoulders forward. Move them over to one side, back towards the heels, and up the other side. Just circling out through the body. All right, noticing the movement through each one of the joints. All right, so noticing the knees circling, your wrists circling out. All right, moving through the hips and the lower back. All right, moving through the shoulders, maybe even feeling the shoulder blades kind of gliding on the back of the rib cage. So then go in the opposite direction as well. So make those circles in the opposite direction, circling out, feeling as fluid as you can. Get as much movement through the spine as possible here. Good. So then bring it back through center into your tabletop. Taking the hands flat on the ground, spread the fingertips out nice and wide. The wrists are directly under the shoulders. Try to externally rotate the arms so the inside pits of the elbows roll forward here. You can see hands flat, kind of rolling the inside pits of the elbows forward. The shoulders are pulling back and down. All right, and then as you inhale, drop the belly to lift the chest. All right, exhale, tuck the chin around the spine, pressing the floor away. I'll give you this angle as well. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. So the belly is pulling down, your hips are tilted forward. And then we're gonna exhale, tuck the chin around the spine, tuck the tailbone under. Good, 1 more time like that. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the chin around the spine. All right, so inhale, bring it back through center from here. Good, and then we're going to inhale the right arm up. So we're gonna reach the right arm up high. Try to get the wrists, shoulder, and wrist stacked over top of one another as best you can. And then exhale, we're gonna thread that needle under, reach the right arm all the way through and under to the left. We're gonna go up 2 more times like that. Inhale to reach. Good. Exhale, threading the needle under. Good. One more time. Inhale to reach. Good. Exhale, thread that right arm all the way under the left. Reach as far over as you can. Lower that right shoulder and right side of the head down to the mat. That left hand will walk straight forward and overhead. All right, so you're really kind of reaching through that left hand. It's not limp, but again, that elbow stays straight. You're reaching through the fingertips as far forward as you can. Either resting here, also an option to extend the left leg straight behind you, keeping those toes on the ground, pressing through the heel, just lengthening that whole left side of the body. Good. As you exhale, bring that left knee back down to the floor. The left hand in front of the face. Inhale, the right arm back up. Counter twist. Twisting open. Good. Exhale. We'll bring it back through our tabletop. And we'll take the same thing on the other side. Inhaling that left arm up, reaching high. Trying to get the shoulders as stacked over top one another as you can. The chest is wide open here. Good. Exhale, thread the needle under, reaching over and across. We'll go up 2 more times. Inhale to lift, open the chest, twisting the spine. Exhale, threading the needle under and through. 1 more time. Inhale to lift. Good. Exhale, threading it under, lowering that left shoulder down to the mat. The right hand is reaching overhead. All right, that right foot, option to extend it back long behind you. Again, really reach through the fingertips, press through that back heel. Feel some length in that right side of the body, particularly that underarm area. Good, and then as you exhale, lower the back knee, bring the hand back in front of the face, press through the floor. Inhale, the left arm up. Good, and then exhale. Bringing it back and down through center. Let the tail wag out a little. Shift the rib cage from side to side. All right, this lateral flexion in the spine, getting some movement and stretch through the side of the body. Good, and then bringing it back through center. Again, the palms will be flat on the ground. Fingers spread nice and wide. Rotate the inner pits of the elbows forward. We're going to tuck the toes under from here. Lift up to your first downward facing dog. The hips lift up and back. Feet are maybe nice and wide on the mat. If the hamstrings are a little tight, take those feet wider on the mat. All right, pedaling it out, bending one knee, pressing the opposite heel closer to the mat. Anything that feels good here. Taking some time for some free movement, right? Maybe bend through both knees nice and big. Maybe pedal it out. All right, and then as you start to feel a little warmer in the back of the legs, we'll find some stillness. So bring the feet about hips width apart from here. The hands are still spread nice and wide. Let's take a slight bend into both knees. Draw the chest through the arms towards the thighs a little further. All right, so that you're feeling that lengthening in the spine. The hips are lifting high. Good. From here, keeping that length in the spine, maybe you start to straighten the legs, drawing the heels closer to the ground. Right? If as you do that, you notice the back kind of start to round or your chest to come through the shoulders towards the front of the mat more, just keep that bend in the knees. All right? That'll allow you to get a straighter spine and the hips nice and high. Good. From here, I'd like you to inhale. We're going to come high onto your toes, so lift the heels up as high as you can. Start to round the spine, tucking the tailbone under as you shift forward through your high plank. Nice, slow and controlled. Right? The shoulders come forward, past the wrist slightly. The body is in a nice straight line. Heels are over the toes. All right, rib cage pulling into your center line, pressing the floor away a little. Think a slight cat position in that upper back. And then exhale, we're taking it back to our downward facing dog. All right, we're going to do 2 more like that. Inhale, high onto the toes, shift forward through that high plank. Good, exhale, bring it back, down dog. One more time. Inhale, shift forward, rolling through high plank. Good. And then from here, we're going to lower all the way down to the ground. But let's try to do this for a count of 5. So slow and controlled. Maybe you lower the knees first if your hips will start to sag, if the core will break. But we'll lower down, bending through the elbows, pulling back behind you for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering all the way onto your belly. Good. We're going to take our right arm straight out to the right. So let me kind of face you here if this works better. That right arm's coming straight out to the right. We're going to roll onto the outer right hip here. All right, the left foot's behind our right leg. All right, that knee is stacked over the ankle. Then your left hand can either stay in front of you or maybe go behind the lower back if that feels good. Opening up the chest so that right shoulder is pinned down on the mat. All right, as that left shoulder peels further back, opening and broadening through the whole chest here. So especially a lot of that time spent at our computer with our arms reached out in front of us, these chest muscles get nice and tight. So we're going to loosen them out. All right, reassert the proper length-tension relationships between the muscles. Good. Inhale, bring it back through center. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll give you another angle here. All right, the left arm's going to go straight out to the left and then roll onto the outer left hip. The right foot comes behind that left leg. Good. Again, try to rest the left side of the head down on the mat. Maybe that right hand goes behind the lower back, or feel free to keep it in front of you. That's totally fine. All right, that left shoulder pinned down on the mat. Actively pull your right shoulder a little further back behind you, opening and broadening, lengthening through the whole front side of the chest here. Good. Inhale, roll back over onto the stomach. Good. Bring our arms by our side. So the palms will face down, the fingers point towards the back of the room or the back of your mat. All right, keep the neck neutral, the chin maybe resting on the floor. Palms face down to the ground. As you inhale, lift just the chest off of the mat. So feel the back muscles engaged to lift the chest, pull the shoulders a little further back, and then exhale, forehead to the mat. Good. We're going to go up 2 more times, slight variations each time here. On your inhale, same thing, inhale, lift the chest. Maybe this time float the hands away from the mat, reach the fingertips back behind you as if you're trying to touch the wall behind you, opening the chest a little more, squeeze the shoulder blades together, try to keep the tops of the feet pressed down into the mat. And then on your next exhale, lower the forehead down. We're going to go up 1 more time, this time lifting the feet away from the mat as well. And we'll stay lifted maybe a little longer here. So let's inhale to lift the chest, lift the hands, lift the feet and the knees away from the ground. Keep the fingertips rolling back, the chest is open. Taking another breath of air, try to get 1 more rib up off the ground, lift a little higher, we'll hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it back down. Take your hands on each side of the rib cage from here, tuck the toes under. We're going to straighten the legs so the knees lift away from the ground and then start to really engage the core. So you're trying to pull the belly and the rib cage away from the ground, elbows tucked into the body as we press up to our high plank and then take it back to our down dog. Good. On your inhale, bend through the knees, look to the front of the mat, and we'll walk the feet forward into a forward fold. All right, so inhale to a halfway lift. Nice flat, strong back. All right, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Again, all those muscles we just activated. A nice flat back. Exhale to fold. And then inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall. Let's exhale, our hands back down by our side. We're going to go through 2 half salutations. Just like that, warming up through the body. So inhale, the arms up and overhead. Good, exhale, hinge at the hips, fold it back down. Inhale, halfway up, pressing the hands into the shins, a nice flat back, the shoulders pull back, and then exhale, fold it back down. Good, inhale, all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall once again. We'll do the same thing one more time. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. And then inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reach up nice and tall. Good, we're gonna start to add on here. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Let's exhale, hands down to the mat. I'd like you to step your right foot long back behind you and lower that knee down. So hands can be on the floor. We'll give a little rock front to back. So as you exhale, straighten the leg. As you inhale, bend into the knee. Try to drop the hips down as low as you can as the chest opens. While you're bending deep into this knee, make sure the knee's not coming past the toes. If it is, move that front foot further out in front of you. And we'll give a few more rocks front to back. As you exhale to straighten the leg. Inhale, bending into the knee, dropping the hips, maybe even lifting the chest. We'll go one more time each direction. Good, and on your exhale, we're gonna pause in our half splits. So that front leg is gonna pause in that straightened position. All right, maybe even walking that front foot out a little further in front of you. Right, so you're creating more space in between the front heel and the back knee. And keep the toes pointed straight up towards the ceiling. Hands flat down on the ground. All right, if your hands are really far away from the ground, maybe even putting like a pillow, or if you have a chair next to you, you can kind of use that to help prop yourself up a little higher. But let's take 2 more big breaths. And with your inhale, try to lengthen the spine a little more. All right, exhale, fold a little deeper. All right, so on your next inhale, we're gonna bend into that front knee. All right, bring the arms up and overhead from here. So our low lunge, we're gonna take the torso upright. The tailbone's gonna be tucked under so the hips are in that neutral position. And then I want you to sink the hips forward and down. So the hips are coming forward past that back knee. Good. From here, a few options. Hands can stay on that front thigh perhaps, or maybe you take them up and overhead, whichever feels better for you. If they are up and overhead, try to get the arms as straight as you can, palms turn in towards one another, and still relax the shoulders down the back. All right, sinking those hips forward and down. The spine stays upright, making these small adjustments with each breath. Good, and then grab onto your right wrist, reach it up high towards the ceiling, and take it over to the left. So we're taking a little side bend towards the left here, working up into that psoas a little further. Good, inhale, bring it back through center. Exhale for a back bend, cactus in the arms. Allow those hips to shift further forward, allow your back to bend. Good, and then inhale, bring it back through center. And let's take a little twist. Bring your right hand to the top of the top of the left thigh as your left hand goes straight back behind you. So you can use that right hand as a little bit of leverage in this twist, but be gentle with the body still, working through the spine, warming things up. Good, inhale, bring it back through center. And then exhale, we're taking our hands to the mat. We'll tuck the back toes under and we're stepping forward into our fold. Right, from here, walk the hands over to the right, and then walk them over to the left, maybe bending that left knee as you do. Walk them back over to the right, slight bend in the right knee, straightening the left, and again, walking them to the left. Good, inhale, bring it back through center. Inhale to your halfway lift, flattening the back out. Exhale to fold. And then inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall. We'll go for the other side. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold it back down. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. That left leg is going to step far back behind you, lowering the back knee down. Again, hands to the floor, or if you need to prop yourself up on something, feel free. But as we exhale, straightening that leg. And then inhale, bending into the front knee. Try to let the hips draw and drop forward as much as you can. The chest will open up too. So we're not just hunched over that front leg, but trying to open the chest. And then exhale, straightening the leg. Good. Inhale, bending into the knee, opening the chest, dropping the hips. Exhale, straighten the leg. One more time. Inhale. Good, and then exhale for our half splits. We'll pause with this front leg straight. And I want your hips to be over that back knee or slightly in front of it, but I don't want you to just sit all the way back towards that heel here. That's not what we're going for. So try to stay propped up on that knee, maybe even create more space between the heel and the knee as the foot shifts forward. Right, hands are flat on the ground or propped up. Pillow, books, a chair, coffee table, whatever might be there for you. Toes flexed towards the body. Good. 2 more breaths. Again, inhale. Try to lengthen the spine a little more. Think about drawing the rib cage closer to the thigh. Exhale, maybe you stretch a little deeper. 1 more big breath in. Good, and exhale to release. On your inhale, bend into the front knee. All right, bring the arms up and overhead, or at least to your hips to help square them off. All right, the hips will start to sink forward and down. Keep the tailbone tucked under, the lower core engaged. Maybe the hands are just to the top of your thigh, pressing a little deeper. Maybe the arms come up and overhead. Whichever works best for you. All right, the left hip's pulling forward, right hip's pulling back. Again, your front knee isn't going forward past your toes, but keep it over the ankle. The arms reach tall, the spine is long. Good, and then grab onto the left wrist, reach it up and over to the right. All right, stretching out that whole left side of the body. Try to keep the shoulders stacked over top of one another. So that left shoulder is not rolling forward, but it's peeling back behind you, reaching over. Good, inhale, bring it back through center, and then back bend, cactus. The arms open, the heart and chest. Let the hips shift forward. Good, inhale, bring it back up through center, and we'll take our twist. Left hand to the right thigh, right hand reaching back behind you, twisting open. Try to keep that front knee over the ankle. So you're still bending, but the spine stays long and straight. Right arm reaching back behind you. Cool, inhale, bring it back through center. Arms can come up and overhead. Good, exhale, bring those hands down to the mat. We're gonna tuck the back toes under, step it forward into your fold. Good, give a little sway side to side again. Feet are about hips width apart. Walk the hands over to the right. Walk them back through center and over to the left. 2 more times. Inhale over to the right. All right, back through center and over to the left. Good, bring it back through center from here. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And then inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall. We'll go through some full salutations. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step both feet back here. We're in our high plank again. We'll lower down through our chaturanga, but make sure the shoulders are forward. Option to lower down to the knees to keep the core nice, tight, and engaged. Bending through the elbows. Lower the chest down. Don't let the hips hit the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog. Coming onto the tops of the feet, straightening the arms. The chest opens, drawing the chest forward and through. The feet anchored to the ground. As you exhale, take it back to your down dog. We're going to flow through that one more time. Inhale, bend through the knees, look to the front of the mat, step it forward into your fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall. Again, exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway, lift flat back, shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, hands to the mat, step it back to your high plank. Lower down through your chaturanga again, bending through the elbows close to the body. Keep the body and core engaged so the hips hover off the ground. Inhale, upward facing, draw the chest forward and through the arms, looking upward. Exhale to your downward facing. Whew, very good. Getting the heart rate going, get sweating a little bit perhaps. Inhale the right leg up. Let's add in a little core work from here. Exhale that right knee to your right elbow as you shift forward through your high plank. Right knee touches the elbow or maybe even a little higher on the tricep. Exhale, bring it back to your three-legged down dog. We'll take that right knee to your nose, rounding the spine right through your center line. Inhale, extend it back behind you. And then exhale as you take that right knee all the way to the left elbow across the body, twisting the core. Inhale, extend it back behind you. Let's exhale, step that foot in between the hands. High crescent lunge. All 10 toes point forward, back heel lifted. The hips are squared off towards the front from here. Maybe the hands come to your hips to help square them off. That left hip's gonna have to pull forward. That right hip is pulling back to keep yourself squared off. The back heel high over the toes. So you're on the ball of that back foot and then try to straighten out that back leg as much as you can. So you'll feel your left quad engaged, straightening the leg. We'll bend a little deeper into that front knee so it stays over the center of the foot. As you have that base set up, the arms can then come up and overhead. Good. Nice. Keep the core engaged so the lower rib cage is pulling into your center line. The arms reach up nice and tall. Nice. Good. Another deep, full breath in here. As we exhale, we'll bring our hands parallel to the ground in front of you. Keep the body exactly the same. We'll take a breath in to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, twist. Bring your right arm back, left arm forward. So we're twisting open, reaching the right hand back behind you, reaching the left fingertips forward, twisting through the spine. Keep that back leg straight even as you twist. Good. Inhale, bring it back through center. And then let's exhale, open up warrior two. Turn that back heel down on the mat. So your back foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. Front toes are still pointed forward, and we're going to bend deep into that front knee. So the knee is directly over the ankle. Right, looking down inside of your knee, you should be able to see your right big toe there. And then the arms will be parallel to the ground. Good. Looking at your hands, try to make them nice and strong. So the fingertips are pulling and reaching in each direction. And your feet should be just about right under the hands here. So you should have a wide stance through the feet. Nice. All right, keeping the chest squared off to the side so that left shoulder's not rolled forward, but the shoulders are in line with one another. Let's bend a little deeper into that front knee. Turn the front palm up, face ceiling. Exhale to reverse. Reach it up and back. Good, and then inhale, let's cartwheel the hands forward and down to the mat. Step it back into your high plank. So your right foot steps back to meet the left. Lower down through your version of your chaturanga, whether you're lowering to your knees or all in one piece, keeping the chest away from the ground. Inhale, upward facing. Good, exhale to your downward facing. Very good, we'll go for the other side. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, left knee to your left elbow as you shift forward through your high plank. And then inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee to nose, rounding the spine. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee opposite elbow all the way across. Good. Inhale, extend it back. As you exhale, step that foot in between the hands. High crescent lunge, all 10 toes forward. Back heel lifted. All right, start with your hands on your hips to set this up. Bending into that front knee over the ankle. Take a look at that back heel. Get it high over the toes. All right, the hips are squared off to the front. Right hip pulling forward, left hip pulling back. Maybe you can sink a little deeper into it. Keep the back leg totally straight here. So you're lifting the back of the thigh up towards the ceiling. And then take the hands up and overhead. Good. Lower rib cage pulls in, the arms reach up, biceps are framing the ears.
On your next exhale, bring these arms parallel to the ground, reaching in front. Take a breath in to lengthen the spine upward a little further. Exhale that left arm back, right arm forward. All right, finding that balance. Keeping that deep bend in the front knee. Your back leg stays straight even as you twist. Fingertips pulling in opposite directions for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, bring it back through center. Let's exhale, warrior 2. Turn your back heel down on the mat and open up. We're gonna turn the other way to face you guys. All right, so that back foot's parallel to the back edge of the mat. Front knee bending deep, but staying directly over the ankle. So you can see your big toe, maybe even that second toe inside of the knee. Arms reaching out, the feet are as wide as the hands. All right, pressing through the pinky edge side of the back foot. Try to create that arch in your right foot so that center of your foot is lifting here. All right, so maybe a little deeper bend in the front knee. Shoulders are squared off. Good, inhale, turn that front palm up to face the ceiling. Exhale, reverse. Take your right hand to the right leg. Left arm reaches up and back. Keep that same bend in the front knee. Good, and then inhale, cartwheel the hands forward and down to the mat. Step it back to your high plank. Chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, upward facing. Good, exhale, downward facing. On your inhale, we'll bend through the knees, look to the front of the mat, step it forward into your fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. And then inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall. Exhale, hands down by your side. We'll bring the feet nice and close together so the big toes are touching. Good, and we're going into our chair pose. As you inhale, we're gonna bend through the knees, press the hips back behind you as you swoop the arms up in front of you and overhead. So I'll let you see this angle as well. Notice my hips are pressing back behind me, right? I'm not on my toes here, but my weight is in my heels. The toes can even lift up off the ground and wiggle around a little. We'll keep the arms lifting as high as you can, keep the chest lifting. Keep the core engaged to tuck the tailbone under slightly. That'll allow you to lift the chest a little higher. Take another deep breath in, reach, and then exhale, straighten the legs, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Good, exhale, we'll go hands to the mat, step it back into your high plank. All right, lower down through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Good, exhale to your downward facing. All right, so let's inhale the right leg up behind you. We're gonna bend the knee and stack the hips. All right, so you're trying to stack that right hip over the left, keeping the shoulders as squared off to the front as you can. The knee is lifting high, the heel is drawing towards your glutes. Good, and then as we exhale, step that foot in between the hands. Good, this time keeping that left hand down on the mat. We're going to inhale the right arm up, so taking another little twist here. Try to make sure that right knee stays directly over the ankle and keep that back leg as straight as you can as you twist up. Good. All right, being light on that bottom hand, squeeze the thighs together. Feel that left hand be kind of light here. So the core is engaged, the thighs are squeezing together, that right hand's reaching up to the ceiling. Good, and then as you exhale, bring that right hand down to the ground. Turn your back heel down to the ground. Rise back up through your warrior 2. All right, so we've been here before. So setting up nice and strong, a couple breaths of rest. Good, inhale that front palm up to face the ceiling. Exhale, reverse. Keep that front knee bent nice and deep. Reach up, stretch that right side body. Good, inhale, bring it back through center. Exhale, a side angle pose. Bring your right forearm to the top of the right thigh. And I want you to try to reach the left arm straight overhead. So you're trying to touch the wall in front of you. Good. The lower body's set up just like it was in our warrior 2. And I want you to focus on getting a straight line from that back heel through the hip, through the shoulder, and wrist. So a nice straight line. You might have to bend a little deeper into that front knee to straighten out that left side of the body. Palm faces down to the ground. Shoulders are stacked. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, rise back up through center. Straighten this front leg. Turn all 10 toes to face the edge of your mat. So your feet are parallel with one another. The toes are pointing to the side. Take your hands onto your hips, and we're taking a forward fold from here. Use the hands to kind of guide the hips forward. So you're tilting from the hips. The back can stay nice and straight here for as long as you can. Once those hips can't move any further forward, then allow the upper back, the neck and shoulders to relax, bringing the hands down towards the ground into your fold. From here, maybe walk the hands over to the left foot and then walk them over to the right. Pausing anywhere that feels good, or maybe even just hanging out in the center there. That's totally fine as well. Good. Bringing it back through center wherever you are. Inhale to your halfway lift. Nice flat, strong back. And then we're going to walk the hands back over towards the front of the mat. So turn the front toes forward, turn the back toes forward. That heel will lift. We're back exactly where we started. I want you to take that left hand down to the ground. Inhale the right arm up. So we're twisting again. Good. From here, I want this right foot to go back to meet the left. But first, roll that back foot to the outside, pinky edge side of the foot if you can. As controlled as possible, step that right foot back to meet the left into your side plank. If that's not quite there for you, you can lower that back knee down and then step the right foot back. Or maybe you're in your full plank. Maybe that right foot lifts wherever you are for 3, 2, and 1. Right hand down to the mat, high plank. Lower down, chaturanga, bending through the elbows. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale to your downward facing. Very good. The other side, and then we'll start to bring things down. Inhale the left leg up, bend the knees, stack the hips. All right, opening up that left hip, left side of the body. Keep your left hand pressed firmly into the mat. Shoulders are squared off. Lift that knee a little higher. Draw the heel a little closer to the hips. Good, and then exhale, step it in between the hands. Good, keeping the right hand down this time. Inhale the left arm up for your twist. Keep the back leg nice and straight. Keep that front knee directly over the ankle. Try to squeeze the thighs together. Make it a little lighter on that bottom hand if you can. For 3, 2, and 1. Exhale that left hand down to the mat. Turn your back heel down, warrior 2. We'll open all the way up. I'm going to turn around to face you again. So warrior 2 with that left foot forward, right foot back. Good. Inhale the front palm up, face ceiling. Keep the lower body exactly the same. Exhale, reverse, reach up. Good. Inhale, bring it back through center, side angle. Left forearm to the top of the left thigh, right arm reaching straight overhead. All right, so you want to keep the shoulders totally stacked over top of one another. That right shoulder feels like it's peeling back. And again, straight line through the whole right side of the body. You might feel this hip lifted a little higher. I don't want that. Bend deeper into the front knee. Drop that hip down in line. Ankle, hip, shoulder, wrist. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, rise back up through center. Straighten the front leg. All 10 toes point towards the edge of the mat. This time, start with our arms out parallel to the ground. As you inhale, turn the palms up to face ceiling. Open the chest, roll the shoulders back. The shoulder blades pull down towards your back pocket. Good, and then exhale, dive forward and down, hands towards the mat. All right, let that body sway a little side to side. Maybe do the same variation we did the first time, touching foot and then opposite foot. Or maybe that right hand comes down in front of the face or right under the face. Inhale the left arm up for a twist. As you do that, notice the tendency for your hips to shift over to the left. Try to keep the hips right in center as you twist through the spine and the core. Good, exhale. Bring that left hand down. Put it directly under the face. Inhale the right arm up.
Again, try to prevent the hips from shifting over to the right. Keep them right center between the feet. That right arm lifts. Good, and then exhale, bringing it back down to the mat. Walk the hands over to the left. All 10 toes will face the front. Again, same place that we started. Right hand is down. Left arm is up for your twist. From here, starting that slow control transition to our side plank. So turning to the pinky edge side of that back foot again. Maybe the pinky edge side of that front foot too if those hips are really open. Maybe you're lowering that right knee down. Also okay, as slow and controlled as you can, bring that left foot back to meet the right. Right, hips stay lifting high. Think about that left hip pulling up to the ceiling. Maybe that left leg lifts. We'll hold for 3, 2, and 1. Left hand down, high plank. Lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, draw the chest forward and through. And then exhale to your downward facing. Very good. On your inhale, we'll bend through the knees, look to the front of the mat, walk the feet all the way through the hands, and we're going to come into a seat. So just coming back to your seat behind you. The legs will be out in front. Have the knees bent, the heels down on the ground. Right, variations of boat pose that we'll go through for a little bit of core work before completely bringing it down. We're going to lean back so our spine is straight. We're at about a 90-degree angle at our hips. Maybe those heels stay down. Maybe the arms are just out here, or maybe they're even behind the thigh. Maybe you lift these legs. Maybe the arms are out by your side. And maybe those legs are straight with the arms by your side. Wherever you are, we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to slowly lower it down. Keep the heels, keep the back away from the ground, reaching the hands forward. And then exhale to open up, high boat. Inhale to lower down. Exhale, open up. Inhale to lower. Exhale, high. 2 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, high. Last one. Inhale, lower. Exhale, high. Good. And then bring it all the way down to your mat, hugging the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice little squeeze and rock from side to side. Take a few deep, full breaths in, full breaths out. Trying to smooth out the breath. And then lower the feet down to the ground. Knees will stay bent here. All right, arms can be by your side. Feet are about hips width apart, close enough to the body. You can touch your heels with your fingertips. We're just going to go through one bridge here. If you have a full wheel in your practice that you feel ready to go for, do it. We just have time for one bridge though, so whatever you would like, yogi's choice. We'll press through the heels, lift the hips up nice and high. Walk the shoulder blades maybe a little further under the back. Hands can either stay by your side, or maybe you're clasping the hands underneath the back. All right, shoulders really roll open. If you're here, try to press the pinky edge side of the hands down into the mat and try to keep the palms touching. Lifting the hips nice and high, chin slightly tucked. For 3, 2, and 1. Release the hands. Lower down slowly, hips all the way down. Good. Maybe those knees fall from one side to the other. Good, and then bringing the knees back through center, feet are still flat on the ground. We'll take the right ankle over the left, right, for our figure 4 stretch. We'll reach our right hand in between our legs, that triangle you just created, and the left arm around the outside, pulling that left leg in towards the chest. So hands can either be around the shins, that'll be the most stretch. If you can't quite get there, you can go to the hamstrings as well. Or some of you might even get a pretty good stretch keeping that foot down on the ground and just pressing this knee open. So wherever you are, totally fine. We'll be here for about 3 breaths.
Good. After your next exhale, release that leg down. We're going to just switch it out so that right foot comes flat on the mat. We're going to take our left ankle, crossing it over that right thigh. All right, hug that right knee into the chest, whatever level you're at. All right, anywhere, as long as you're feeling that stretch, and in the outer left thigh, outer hip area, maybe a little behind the leg, your hamstrings getting involved a little. Good, and then exhale to release here. Feet come down flat on the mat. Let those knees fall from side to side. Cool, one last posture here. We'll take our supine twist. Extend your left leg long. You're hugging the right knee into the chest. And with your left hand, guide the right knee over to the left side of the body. As you roll onto the outside of that right hip, the right shoulder is going to stay flat down on the mat here. All right, so you're twisting through the spine from that right hip into the lower back, the mid back, upper back. All right, gazing over that extended right arm so the twist goes all the way up the spine through the neck. Good, and then inhale, bring it back through center. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So extend your right leg long. The left knee pulls into the chest, guide it over to the right side of the body. The left shoulder is flat on the mat. And again, gazing over that left arm. So you're looking towards the left hand. So that twist is happening all the way from your hips up through the whole spine, your neck. Wringing everything out here. Good, and then inhale, bringing it back through center. We're gonna hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a nice tight little squeeze. Good, and then extend the legs long on the mat, all the way down into our final rest. Let the arms fall by your side. Tuck those shoulder blades under just a little further. Let everything relax here. I know doing this from home, there can be temptation to get up right now, whatever your next task is. Please try to stay with me here, just for 2 more minutes. All right, allowing the body to relax. A few deep, full breaths in, allowing the oxygen to nourish the body. All right, the mind is a little quieter than usual. You're a little more relaxed. And you're able to lay here just to soak that in. Good, and then from here, start to move the fingers and toes a little. All right, we can reach the arms straight overhead, lengthen out, full body stretch. All right, and then we'll roll over onto your favorite side, drawing the knees up towards the chest a little. All right, using that bicep as a pillow. Just take a couple moments here to recenter, reground yourself, and bring yourself gently back into your day, preparing to present your best self into the rest of the week. Good, and as you use that top hand to press yourself back to a seated position. All right, we can make our way to a seat. The spine is nice and tall, the arms maybe on our knees. All right, the neck directly over the spine, shoulders pulled back. Let's take in one more big deep breath of air together. Open mouth exhale. Well, thank you for joining me here today and allowing me to guide you through your practice. The light in me honors and respects the light in you. Namaste.
Thank you for watching Kula Wellness on YouTube. Please consider subscribing by clicking on the subscribe button below.